randomized swords version, Uncle can give you the sword, but he can really give you any weapon that you can use to get through the entire seed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could include anything from Cane of Burna, Cane of Samaria, bow, hammer, and bombs, which is always a good time.
Yeah, I like bombs the most myself, if anything, because there is such a wide difference between people who are proficient with bombs, and who can get through. But if you're not practiced in the bombs, then it kind of goes a completely different direction, and you can really see a huge difference getting through the escape. It does look like we are already off as well.
That we are.
Okay, so Violet shows us that we are going to have the fire rod to start out with. Very interesting. It's a little bit difficult with the fire rod because you only have 8 shots to get through. It limits your ability to farm up any magic at that point in time.
Yeah, it's a good weapon to have because it one-shots a lot of things, but yeah, like you said, it uses up a ton of magic, so you have to be very liberal in that respect. Conservative, not liberal.
Yeah, I was going to say liberal use is... Yeah. Anyway.
Words are hard. So, yeah, these two runners, while we got a second here, Violet has been playing... She's been playing Randomizer for several months now, since the end of the fall tournament. She actually prefers Entrance Randomizer. That's always a good time. And she mainly speedruns DK, but she doesn't really do anything right now. She likes the bow.
So you see Violet there was absolutely trying to farm up some of these enemies, trying to kill them, not using magic. No bow yet. Working your way through, but we do get a Moon Pearl in Escape. What is this?
Early Moon Pearl, you know, it's not a bad thing to find in Escape.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's one of the 3 required items before we really can explore the Dark World. The other 2 are the first lift upgrade, and then for your third item, it's either the second lift upgrade in the Titan's Mitts or the hammer. So nice to see that early Moon Pearl. Could see some early Dark World access.
Getting Quake out of the way early.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something I really want to see right now. Quake is nice, but can't use it at the moment.
No, you can only use it for, obviously if you have a sword, you can only use the medallions, and that also kind of suggests that you might be making a Mire or a Turtle Rock play in the future. Potentially.
All right, so Violet picks up our wonderful princess right around where we need to. Man, these guards are dropping red rupees right and left. Violet has picked up, I think, 3 different red rupees. Hasn't had to gotten any rupees out of any treasure chest, but already with enough to buy bombs if she needs to.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid drop so far. Definitely some good RNG there, and to just be able to buy the bombs if you need to, because you know, like you said, you want to be conservative with the fire rod, so you might not be farming for bombs for the back of the escape.
And one of the nice things about the fire rod is it does absolutely melt that ball and chain guard and any other enemy you need to. We're already back at the top floor at 3 minutes and 38 seconds. You want to shoot for a pretty solid time, if at all possible, of 6 minutes to get through the entire escape sequence, varying depending on if you have to farm up bombs or not. With the fire rod, it makes it a little bit easier to get through. And Violet does, in fact, manage to find 1 bomb drop, so no more farming for her.
Yeah, that is a very solid bomb drop. You always want the bomb drop so you don't have to come back to escape later once you get the first lift upgrade. Or you could go through escape again, for that matter.
I mean, you can. I don't know if anyone necessarily wants to, if they can avoid it, but you can.
Yeah, ideally you'd like to avoid that. Since we got a minute, I did Violet a little bit ago. You know, Gweg. He's from U.S. He's been doing Randomizer for about 2 years, so he's a relatively older player, if you will, in that respect. He enjoys the 10-piece easy Triforce hunt, which is RIP. He doesn't really do the NMG. He loves to get the lamp, and he hates anything that suggests Ice Palace. And he also likes waffles.
Waffles, huh?
Yep.
I mean, sure, I suppose.
Who doesn't like waffles, you know? I mean,
The interesting things that some of these runners have filled out on their bios, it's amazing. So Violet going to use the one bomb that she was able to pick up. Gweg, unfortunately, not finding a bomb.
yeah, that could be detrimental depending on what's here in the back of Escape.
Looks like a whole lot of little bits of love, like friendship love, like not real love. I take it back. Friendship love is totally real love.
I was going to say, what are you trying to say? But so luckily for Gweg, he's probably going to end up checking it later on anyway, but at least we know now that it doesn't have anything overly important.
Yeah, I mean, the difficult part for Gweg is even though he didn't necessarily, I mean, Violet didn't get anything out of it, Gweg is still going to have to take some time and route this back in. It's going to be a time saver for Violet, even if nothing was there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be, and the longer we go without Dark World access, if we especially don't get a lift upgrade, you know, Gweg is going to probably be panicking, maybe not panicking, but being a little nervous about that back of Escape.
5 rupee drop from the tree pole. We'll see what the Hoarder Crab has for us up here. Oh, that's nice.
If you can get bombs from the crab, that is the best. That is the absolute best.
Yeah, it's going to make for routing the rest of this completely easy. It looked like just another big 20 up there on the ledge. Gweg is routing away from the lumberjack ledge, so he's going to take a gamble that nothing is there. Nothing is there. Maybe gambling a little bit because he had kind of a slow start to get things going.
Yeah, that kind of time they do just kind of skip lumberjack and come back if they feel it's necessary, if they have to do Ag 1 anyway.
300 rupees for these guys as they're holding hands effectively right now.
Yeah, we are linked up pretty good here, and we'll probably see both runners go down to Kakariko, and hopefully we got some good stuff here down here.
Now, the difference is Violet's routing allowed her to go ahead and pick up those bombs from the Hoarder there. Gweg is avoiding all the Hoarders, so he's not going to see those wonderful bomb drops. It's going to make Kakariko a little bit more inefficient for him. He's going to have to go buy bombs before he really can route this thing as efficiently as he needs to.
That's a very good point, and it's not a huge time sink, but it's definitely a bit of a time loss.
Man, this seat is throwing money at us. 300 rupees in the forest, another 300 in the back of the bar, you know, stealing everyone's tip money.
Oh, if Gwego went in the blind side, he would have got the 10 bomb drop for free.
Oh, that's a gamble that I don't know if anyone can reasonably take, but I understand it. Violet does pick up 2 bottles in Blind's basement. So, interestingly, really, I mean, 2 bottles, one with blue goo, one with a fairy, so they're equipped with bottles and come pre-equipped with a lot of stuff here. They're going to be able to go ahead and route in Sick Kid as they go through here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always nice to get that out of the way early, so you don't have to come back and getting those bottles is nice, especially when they have blue goo.
Violet's in the well, and blue male Gweg just finds 10 arrows on the bottle vendor.
Bottle vendor being scamful today. Ooh, Canis Demaria in the well.
That's at least a more magic efficient weapon at this point in the game, and for what they're going to have to be doing in the near future.
Absolutely, but right now, I know it's super early, but we now have Kane, we now have Fire Rod, and we have a Quake medallion. That is suggesting some potential ugly routing in the future.
And if I were these runners, I would be absolutely concerned about that and thinking, shut your dirty hole. I don't want to think about that.
That's fair. I wouldn't either.
All right, sick kid. What is making you sick today? Money really is the source of all sickness. It's true. Thank you, sick kid.
That's fair. We'll take the money, but we get it.
All right, so Violet finished up. Gweg still is going to be finishing up this well area. So there's where that routing inefficiency comes in. Violet's already out. We'll see what's going to be on the library and check to see if she checks the maze game or goes ahead and dives in.
Yeah, a lot of people just dive in here, and if you have like boots already, it's not a bad idea just to check because it's obviously quick, but the walk can be a bit detrimental. So you'll probably, so as we see, they're just gonna dive right in there and get it over with.
I mean, I really like this routing. If you're planning on saving and quitting immediately after anyway, you can check by about this point, and it's the Power Glove. Awesome gamble right there by Violet.
Yes, that's a huge pickup now. Now that leaves us just one item away from Dark World access, and that's a big find. Library had nothing for the record. I don't know if we mentioned that. Or that was a quick check anyway.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick check for both of them. Violet going to be doing the pretty standard routing, heading here to the South Shore, checking the dam area, and then likely Mini Moldorm directly afterwards.
That dam area.
That dam area with all of those damn items.
Bad puns are bad. Anywho, Gweg getting his Power Glove here. He went checked it first. He didn't do the race game right away, so he's lost a little bit of time there.
And more bombs. Violet's going to go ahead and pick up those bombs. Right now, the way things are looking up, Violet may be using bombs on this Mini Moldorm cave. Not a ton of magic to reliably be able to kill these Mini Moldorms with the Canis Moria or the Fire Rod. So I can absolutely understand picking up these bombs because it may come down to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And killing these with bombs is not always a fun venture.
Absolutely not. And here we see Gweg immediately going to check what exactly was in the back of his cape. It's going to be nothing. And again, that's that routing inefficiency that's going to happen. He just didn't get lucky with the bomb drops, unfortunately.
Nope, and he's going to see that he didn't miss a whole lot.
Oh, this is horrible. Nothing in Mini Moldorm Cave. We have a third bottle. Okay, we have 3 bottles before we have really a reliable weapon.
That is a very good point. Right now, it is the seed has been what's the word I'm looking for? Not very generous, we'll say. Generous on bottles, not on anything else.
Let's see. Let's pull up my thesaurus. Stingy. That'll be the word of the day. It's a stingy seed.
It is a very stingy seed. Thank you.
Now, the problem we're going to run into, and this is going to be kind of interesting, is, Zora is in logic, and we absolutely have the money for him.
Yeah, that's right. That does seem like the play right now. And they can fake Flipper with the Moon Pearl and get the waterfall area, which is out of logic technically, but it is worth the check potentially because we haven't found anything.
And it does look like that's exactly what Violet is going to be doing, setting up that fake Flipper glitch. It's a solid check at this point in time. If you didn't have the Moon Pearl, I can see avoiding it because that's really only the one item. But setting up the fake Flipper glitch to be able to get not only the waterfall of fairy locations, but also the Zora item.
Gweg on the left side has shown a really, really nice bomb strats on the mini Morlorn cave there. That was very impressive.
All right, so Violet, with this sequence break, let's see what Hobo has for us. I hope it's nothing. The problem with getting progression by doing a sequence break is sometimes it can kind of lead you on wild goose chases. Uh-oh.
Well, you were saying?
Okay, so that's the lamp. That's really interesting.
Yeah, you have to with having the lamp out of the sequence, you have to be really, really careful as you go forward until you get the flippers to make sure you're not accidentally checking things that are like something that might be lamp locked or sequence breaks.
Sequence breaks, yeah. So that's interesting. It tells us that the flippers are absolutely not going to be behind any dark rooms, A. But more than that, anything that we find behind dark rooms also can't lock out the flippers. So I think we're expected to see the flippers relatively quickly, at least logically.
That is correct. I think that was where I was trying to go. Oh, the bow.
So, okay, so the bow and the lamp, all of Eastern Palace is now a sequence break, by the way.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
And what do we have on the ledge? Okay, just money. So Violet going to turn in. We'll see. What does Zora have for us? Meanwhile, Gweg is going up to the eastern area. Violet can clear it if she wants to.
And most likely will, but ooh, the hammer.
The hammer. Violet picks up Fisher-Price My First Shield.
Yay!
I mean, nice.
I mean, it could lead to the mirror shield later. That's a nice thing to have if you can find it. But
absolutely. In the meanwhile, Greg is going to go ahead. He does have Dark World access now. Looks like he's going to be checking if I'm going to make a prediction. We might have a Hype Cave check here directly.
Ooh, I actually like this play too. Going to Dark World right now and getting that over with. Going to Hype Cave and then most likely probably going into the Thieves Town Outcast Village area.
Now, it depends on what you find in Hype Cave. I've always found, you're routing directly after Hype Cave dependent on if you find something. So our map check looks like, we have Ice Palace is a pendant. Everything else in the Dark World is a crystal. We haven't had a Light World check yet, which is weird.
I think we did on Violet's side, but it was super quick. I couldn't see anything.
And Violet is going to take advantage, looks like, and do Eastern with the sequence break. Might as well while you're here. Gweg finding just bombs. Another Fisher-Price shield. $20. And the Ice Rod. Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's Ice Rod ugly. Ice Rod ugly.
5 to 10. That's a C+ Hype Cave. Nothing really of worth, but you are definitely happy that the Ice Rod isn't going to troll you today.
Yeah, absolutely. Ice Rock can be extremely trolly, but if Quake is the medallion for Toro Rock, that puts Toro Rock completely in play once we get away up there.
Well, let's see. We still don't technically have Dark World access. The lamp is sequence broken at this point in time. The other way is using the flute, of course. And then we still need a way to get over to that east side area right now. Never mind, we have it now.
Of course. Right on cue, right on cue.
Commentator's blessing, everyone. So, makes me wonder, Stumpy, you're just kind of sitting there waiting to go back to the light world. You have the mirror, dude.
Clearly, it's one of those situations like, what is this trash? I don't want this. Here you go. Thank you. Gweg coming into K45 as well, which is a smart play here. What's fun about this seed right now, too, is the complete route divergence we have right now. This is where Randomizer gets really fun when you're watching a race like this, because it's set up to where, obviously you tell, we have just a completely different routing going on, and it makes it real fun.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo. And I am Jake.
Alright, so Gweg is going to go ahead and do the digging game. He did route over in this direction. We'll see what he finds out of the digging game. With that mirror pickup, though, he'll be able to mirror right over into, even if he doesn't pick up anything else in this cave, in this digging game, he will be able to mirror over and just pick up immediately where he left off, routing right back to the Dark World in that northern portal.
Children die? I haven't read any of this yet. Oh, good. So, I usually don't very much, but I like to be surprised. So let's jump in. And apparently it picks up at 8 a.m.
And that's exactly what he's going to do, which is a proper play at this point. On Violet's side, I don't think we've gotten anything of too interest on her side. It's been kind of hard to tell, but yeah, so far nothing. But again, it is, I believe it's a dungeon. Not a dungeon, a crystal. Of course, it's a dungeon.
Like 20 years, maybe he's been in that limousine. Hey, Greg, I need you.
All right, so Gweg is routing to that area. Violet still is doing the full sequence break that is Eastern Palace. It makes me wonder, with that really quick map check that she did, if she doesn't know that this isn't a crystal.
That's kind of the assumption I'm going under, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting at this point, being the complete sequence break that it is. Because since Greg has the mirror, once he goes to pod, whenever that'll be, he'll be able to just kind of boom.
So Gweg looks like he's actually going to avoid going to Skull Woods right at the moment, even though it is, he won't be able to complete it. We still do need a sword to cut down that curtain. Otherwise, it would be completable right now. He is looking for some sort of sword, some sort of weapon, something to make this a little bit easier. We still don't have a sword here.
That we do not, and I'm curious how long we'll go without one. It can definitely be a long time before we see one. And hammer blind is not a fun blind.
There are worse blind fights. Oh, Gweg picking up half magic. That's actually really handy when all you have are rods for your weapons.
Yeah, and he could use Camp Mario too. I did kind of forget they had that.
Yeah, Cane of Samaria would actually be a much easier blind fight than Hammer if you're uncomfortable with getting up close and personal. And there is our Titansmith. So that's our second lift upgrade. That's full access to Turtle Rock right now.
Ooh.
As soon as we have a way up there.
Oh, we don't have a way up there. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, I'll tell you right now, Gweg's routing seems to be. He didn't get the bow or the lamp, but his sequence or his routing seems to have become more fruitful right now.
Now, Violet already has one crystal already down, and looks like Eastern Palace is one of the 5-6 crystals. So that's definitely good for Violet at this point in time. The difference is, like, it's entirely sequence broken. She's going to try to go into it. I guess, yeah, even Palace of Darkness is full clearable right now. So getting those two out of the way right away.
Yeah, that's an interesting play. And in that same respect, too, that would mean Palace of Darkness full clearable is also out of sequence.
Yeah, remember, and I want to remind everyone in chat, the story right now is that VioletPumpkin did sequence break. Hobo had Lamp, and then also the bow was in the Waterfall Fairy treasure chest. So both the Lamp and the bow that Violet have right now are sequence broken at this point in time. Everything that she is doing is that she has done up to this point in time has been following those sequence breaks. We have no idea where the flippers are.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, I thought we would see that fairly quickly. We just haven't yet.
Gweg, meanwhile, has been following kind of the sequence as it's allowed. He hasn't dipped Eastern, which really Eastern didn't have a whole lot other than one of the 5/6 crystals for us. So Gweg has... The difference here is Gweg has not sequence broken, Violet has, and Violet has, like, leaned hard into that sequence break.
I was wondering on Gweg's side if he would head into the back half of Skullwoods, not having the sword, but checking that final chest before moving on. Before moving on to the other area, down in the Thieves Town area.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Gweg... Oh, Gweg, I hope you're not going this way. Gweg, no. Nobody. No, back out.
Oh, yeah, that's not... That's... I think he forgot you don't have a sword. He's about to find out soon.
Well, I mean, he has a blue potion, he has half magic, and he has the fire rod. That's about as equipped as you could possibly hope to be fighting Mothula. And 8 hearts, that's not a bad place to be. It's really easy to forget that you do at least need a sword to cut down the net here. Gweg's going to find out the hard way real soon.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, and he just realized it. That's all right, it happens. We all do it, and that's one of those things that you're not thinking, and you're like, oh, you're used to having a sword at this point. I mean, even the worst seats usually have a sword by half hour.
Meanwhile, Violet's working her way through very standard routing through Palace of Darkness. Gweg does find the Ether Medallion as well in the back half. Violet just picked up Vanilla Big Key. Guys, is this even randomized?
Oh, that Ether. Now we have 2 of the 3 medallions.
Yeah, if I were Gweg right now, I would be a little bit concerned. If he finds Lamp or Flute, that absolutely gives him full access to Turtle Rock. And that's probably the last thing that you want to see right now at, 28 minutes into the game?
Yeah, that's not the funnest thing, and I'm sure it's on their mind. And Turtle Rock's been very progression heavy, it seems, theoretically in V29. So luckily it's a crystal, so that's nice.
There's still so much that these guys can do, and there's Red Mail. Gweg looked like he's going to go ahead and head up Death Mountain. It's going to be a sequence break for him. This is Gweg's first sequence break. We know where the lamp is. It was on Hobo.
And just for the record, he's doing the Dark Room without a sword. This is not the easiest thing in the world to do right now.
Absolutely not. He's actually carrying the block and using that as kind of his guiding light, for lack of a better term. That's actually inspiring, Gweg. I mean, using what the items have.
Yeah, that is a very, very intelligent move and very worthwhile.
Oh, we did find the, looks like the book in the dark rooms here and Palace of Darkness as well.
That opens up desert, but depending on what's on Torch, might not get too far.
Oh, we have the old man leading the old man, and he gives us rupees.
Not worth. No, actually, that is worth it because of the save point. Now you got that save point there. I'll make things a little bit easier until we get the flute.
You know what? This might just be instinct talking to me, and my instincts are absolutely horrible. But something tells me that we might find the flippers up here, and then the flute was supposed to be our access. So that flippers are locked behind mountain. Oh God, I'm worried about what this could mean for the runners.
Yeah, this could get interesting in a hurry. Not that it isn't interesting already, because it very much is with the way they've been sequence breaking and their routing. It's been fun.
Yeah, the question really is, what does this seed intend for these runners to do at this point in time? Violet, spending a lot of time going through here, is still in full sequence break mode at this point, using the bow. So yeah, I'm really curious what Gweg is going to find up here, and he has full access to Death Mountain at this point in time. The only thing he does not is pretty much anything in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, that is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a sequence break still, though, correct?
Yes, we are on Death Mountain without either the flute or the lamp, so it really is curious. Depending on what we find on Death Mountain, I mean, we're going to have kind of some really weird sequence breaky sorts of things going.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to make it a little bit more challenging to keep track of the actual logic itself, but ooh,
Gweg taking a death tile to the face.
he did have a fairy though. I forgot about the fairies, but kind of made it a little harder on himself using the fire rod strats to try to get that coffee break instead of going with the can of Samaria, but it all worked out.
Violet, meanwhile, is trying to get, and looks like Helmasaur is down.
Almost sword not the easiest boss if you don't have silvers and no sword.
Yeah, having to hammer that jewel is probably a little bit difficult, or use the bow. Have to get quite a few bow hits in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it 8? I think 8 bow hits to take him down at that point.
It's something along those lines, yep.
So Gweg here is going to finish out the red pendant Terra, and be curious to see where Violet goes next.
That's right. I mean, she has leaned full hard into that sequence break. So depending on where she goes, she's got to do something. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we got to close the sequence break soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that she needs to go to Outcast Village because that has more progression items, namely the Ice Rod, which is for Turtle Rock only, basically, and the Power Gloves, though. or the power Titan's Mids, not power gloves. Which means that since she's sequence breaking so much, she could sequence break Ice Palace at that point. Not technically full clearable because you have the hook shot, but.
And what do we find here? Doesn't look like anything was on the pyramid, unfortunately. Gweg, meanwhile, is on Moldorm, which is a pendant, so wonder if he's just already up here, go ahead and get it down while you still can, or if something is here, yep, the last item was on Moldorm.
Yep, and unfortunately, Hera didn't provide anything of use, so a little bit of a time loss with that, unless it's a pendant seed, but or pedestal seed, not pendant seed, pedestal. Ugh, words today. Sorry about that.
All right, so Violet's going over here and making a play on Catfish. We'll see if this ends up holding something for us.
Yeah, this isn't a bad play. Catfish isn't the easiest to route in on normally, so just get that out of the way and.
And Gweg does look like he's at least going to open up Turtle Rock. We'll see if... Well, we can't open it up. We don't have a sword.
No, we can't. So all he's going to be able to do is check to see what medallion it is. And, But you can do the rest of Death Mountain.
And it's Quake, so... Sorry, Gweg.
He's really like, that's the second time he forgot I didn't have a sword. All right, but that's not the biggest of deals because, again, we could do, like you said before, we could do Death Mountain on the east side, so.
All right, we're going to see what's on this east side here. First time on the east side of Death Mountain, so he's going to do Spiral Cave, then do Paradox Cave. It looks like he's going to come back up to the top and then do Super Bunny Cave from there.
Not bad routing. Yeah, definitely not bad routing at all. Violet looks like she's going to be doing her Outcast Village play. We've kind of shifted a bit. Now Violet's back on Logic, and Gweg is now in the sequence break.
Haven't really found anything up to this point in time from this sequence break either. So we'll see what Gweg finds here. So where's Violet would be absolutely in sequence if we find the flippers somewhere. Where could they possibly be?
That's a great question. They could be in Agina's cave. That is definitely a possibility.
I mean, anywhere in the Dark World, yeah.
Yeah. Have we done Thieves Town at all?
No, we haven't even dipped a tiny toe into Thieves Town. So that's 4 locations. That's a possibility. And Gweg getting trolled by these mini troll dorms. Papa would be proud. There's our first sword. Gweg with the sequence break.
The sequence break sword.
2 sequence break swords.
Oh, that is huge. Now I'll be curious if he ends up going back to Turtle Rock at this point.
Ew. I mean, you can.
I don't know if I would personally, but it is a play that's out there, and the seed has been kind of heavily hitting towards it, other than having a logical way to get there.
I mean, this would be a major gamble by Gweg if he were to do that. I would full support it in the name of hype, but man, I would feel super nervous about making that play myself.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'll be curious to see where he goes from here because he tried to open it early. He may have just wanted to open it, but now he can.
Oh, and that was Sanctuary Heart look like? Gweg with the full heart refill does also pick up Mushroom.
That does open up the one more spot, but nothing too major. We could also fake powder if we absolutely had to with it.
And Gweg's doing it. Gweg is making the play. He has sequence broken up to Turtle Rock. So at this point in time, okay, he's only 2 swords out of logic. The only thing he's done is get up to Death Mountain. Everything else is within sequence for him. Violet is going into Tower of Hera, or not Tower of Hera, Thieves Town right now. So technically in logic, we'll see what she finds.
Yep, and Greg is definitely doing it. I was curious to see if he'd actually just open it, but he's taking the plunge, he's taking the seat, he's taking the breadcrumbs, if you will.
Okay.
And it is full clearable.
Violet picking up the shovel. Oh, fetch quests are us.
Yep, that could very well lead us to the flippers.
Oh, and here's the problem. He has to do this particular run the long way. No hook shot. Poor Gweg.
Oh yeah, that's not fun for anyone. It's pretty difficult if you don't know if you're not used to it. He does it pretty well though. He got it down for
Oh, I hope he has enough time. I don't know if he does. Whew, okay.
just made it.
Big key and just 5 bomb upgrades. Violet, again, other than that fetch quest, hasn't found a whole lot in Thieves Town yet either.
No, this seed has been very stingy so far, as we mentioned earlier. The good news is this is a crystal. The bad news is it's Hammer or Canis Maria strats for blind. So we'll be curious to see how she routes it.
Meanwhile, we're at we had a sub 35-minute check for Turtle Rock, which is just amazing, all things considered.
Yeah, that is super early, and if it pays off, that's huge.
Gweg trying to get through here. Those chain chops just hurt like you would not believe.
Yeah, even with blue mail, they're just it's rough. Even with red, if you even have the red mail, which he passed up, they do a lot of damage. Stun prize we just found out is 5 rupees, so nothing major there.
The old man bunny sprite is a skeleton. That's amazing. I'd not seen that.
That's also a little disturbing.
Nothing necessarily in blind